What's going on? It's the Big Bang Radio Show once again. I forgot to do something already. How about that? But anyway, it is the Big Bang Radio Show. I am your host, Big Bang, and I'm just having a great day today. Not sleeping on nothing or nobody. Um, we have a problem here. What just happened? Okay, something just happened, but we'll look at that later. Anyway. All right, though, this is the Big Bang Radio Show. I hope everybody's doing good today. Keeping it going. Had a little hiccups the past couple of days to weeks or whatever. Just got check out that latest. Um, check out that latest one I put out there. Um, it's in July. Man, what's going on? It is June. We're in the month of June right now, starting to warm up. Had a rush of 90 and 80 degrees here in this good old state of Michigan. So, you know, but now it's cooling off. Everybody's feeling much better. Everybody gonna complain, but except for me. God make the weather, so I don't complain about it. No day, no way. So anyway, other than that, man, hope y'all doing good, man. We got to look at something though together. And I be clowning a lot. But I like to say I'm Mr. Obvious too, as long as being Big Bang. And the obvious question to me is when you out walking, right? Getting your exercise on. What is it when you choose to walk on major streets? And I'm speaking to the ladies. You choose to walk on major streets and do your exercise. You got tracks you could go to, you got parks you could go to, you got just your local inside your local neighborhood you could walk around if it's safe. But yet what I see is women go out here and get to walking on the main street. In the city, that's your 7 miles, your 6 mile, your living hours, wherever you may stay, the main street. You know what a main street is. Don't act stupid. And then you out here walking, and then you looking away from the cars like, don't look at me. Like, nigga, we all go look at you because you out here wearing something. I don't know if you might be in shape yet, but you working on it. People gonna look at you. People gonna look to say like, damn, I think I went to school with her. Damn, I used to, whatever with her. Or I work with her. Or I used to work with her. How you gonna be on some place where you got usually in the daytime, early mornings, people rushing to work, and you don't want people to look at your face, so you start looking at up and down and around and shit when people drive by. Fucking goofy. Acting weird. I seen a woman today. Now she gotta work on herself. Now I got tent all on my ride. So she could not have seen me. And I look over and looking like, why is she acting like she don't want people to see her, but you on the main street? You don't think when people drive by, you think they just stuck on the road? They ain't even saying like, oh, it's a human being walking right there. Yeah, they looking at you, stupid. Yes, we all in the car, glanced over, not staring, might have stared, and but we looking at you too. And we look at all people that's on the street. Hell, I see niggas on the bus stop, I'll be looking like, oh shit. Depending on what time of day it is, I'll be looking like, hold on, this nigga might be waiting on the bus or waiting on for me. Let me get my pistol ready. You know what I'm saying? It could go down like that. You know what I'm saying? Just because you on the bus stop don't mean you waiting on the bus. You could be waiting on a victim. And I just ain't gonna let it be me. So when you out and about, people gonna look at you. They're gonna look at you. They're gonna give a judgment, and then life goes on. And it happens in an instant. In an instant. You know what I'm saying? I just got a podcast, so I just turn around and just what I gather from what the world give me and the people in it, I just run that shit right back to the podcast. Like, man, check this, check it out. Check it out. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people in podcasts and they go shooting for videos. And I do that a little bit, but I really don't press the issue because all that stuff be watered down to me. But people go grab videos, they doing this, they doing that, reaction or whatever. However you make your money, how you make your money. I just hope it's running with your morals and you got some. So I talk about things that I do. If you've been checking out my podcast or radio station, man, you hear what I talk about. I talk about everyday barbershop, hood talk, world talk, things. I do. That's how I motivate and keep it moving. So when I deal with people inside my house, around my house, down the street, I'm gonna speak them on it if it catches my attention, rubs me the wrong way, or I'm having a good day with it. It's just something I want to share with y'all. So check it. That was the first thing that started off my morning when I hit outside. But first when my eyes open, I thank God. When I'm in the bed, I thank Him straight up because I couldn't. I pray that one day I don't just go to sleep and just don't never wake up. You know what I'm saying? So I thank God. You should too. You know what I'm saying? But another thing I want to talk about is this Carmelo Anthony situation, man. Man, I think that people are getting hung up on politics. I can have a conversation with anybody, and you should be able to have a conversation with anybody. But you got people that's so stuck up on what a a group of people feel like they can't give their own resolve. If somebody tell me they're a Republican or a Democrat or independent, I do not hate them. If you tell me you a murderer, I don't hate you. You can tell me that you a thief, I don't hate you. You can tell me you a racist, I don't hate you. For one, I read the word, so I'm not supposed to hate. Even sometimes I do get hateful at certain things. Only hate sin. But the overall person, I don't hate them. Like homosexuality, I don't like the gay shit. But as the person, if I had to deal with them, I'm not going to try to kill them. But you got people in this world that say, if you a Republican, I hate you. I hate Donald Trump. I know people, man, that just hate, 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 hate. But back to the story at hand, Carmelo Anthony. I brought all this up to say is that it's messed up, man. It's messed up, man. You got to really think about what make a nigga like. I'm not gonna sit on this mic and tell y'all like I ain't did no dirt. I damn sure done some dirt. Yes, I have. But there's got to be something in your spirit. You gotta raise your kids to have something in their spirit, man. If you don't believe in, the Holy Spirit and Jesus and this and that, you gotta press on. You gotta teach your kids something where, man, self defense, ass whooping, and then reaction to reaction and consequences. Man, that nigga went to the blade. I think they said he had a protractor or some shit and killed that nigga with, man. Killed that white boy. Now you hear it all races, all the race shit on the. If you've been watching it, you hear all the race shit on social media, news, whoever talking about it is race, race, race. Did his daddy say some foul shit? Yes, he did. Yeah, the daddy's there. Man, that nigga is racist. And guess what? Black people, we be racist. We ain't supposed to die because we racist. That nigga, them white boys probably did bully that little black boy. But you can't kill no nigga because you getting bullied. Now, a lot of people heard that two different ways. Some heard that shit like, oh, he for them white people. How he against black people? Nigga, I'm doing something that obviously, if you think like that, I'm doing some shit that you ain't used to, and that's called the truth. That shit ain't got nothing to do with nothing. I'm stating the truth, nigga. It's the truth. You can't kill somebody because they bullying you. Now, depending on the situation, yeah, no white boys would have probably put a foot off in that nigga, man. Because they was raised, I mean, not to justify the racism in their family, but we know now that the dad is racist. So nigga, he taught his kids to be racist. And guess what? It's a lot of people in this world. If you keep working and living and growing, you'll see that it's a lot of people that you deal with in your work and habitat that are fucking racist. You would have been like, damn, Cheryl or Ken or Dave, they were some real nice people until I found out this. And then you deal with them accordingly. But man, if them niggas, that was, if at worst he was gonna get his ass whooped. But you can survive an ass whooping. Now some people gonna say, well, they would have beat his ass. What if he would have died? Then guess what? As a community, as a race, we would have stood behind them niggas and we would have fought for them white boys to get life in prison. Period. But now, without taking that ass whooping, that nigga doing 17, 15, 30 years in prison. And that racist raised white boy is dead. Both families are scarred. And that nigga, and now nobody has the chance to change. Carmelo Anthony might not change for the better in jail. The white boy ain't got no way to change because he's dead. And you pray that his soul was right, or he went to hell. That's the real picture. But we get on this, we get into our roles of Democrat and Republican instead of human beings created by God. And we jump off and we get to talking about shit like this. We talking about where the money went to the family and the GoFundMe. We talking about all this bullshit. Man, it'd be a sad day to see one of my family members' children in a hospital off of ass whooping. Or just get hit anyway, any type of way. But they still alive. And what goes forward, calmer mind has to be in play, or somebody's going to go to jail and somebody's going to end up dead. But that comes with maturity and come with a spirit, a person listening to the spirit and having a spirit. That's a kid making moves like a nigga in prison. No matter how good he was, that nigga made a move like a nigga in prison. Nigga, you come a step further, I'm gonna shank the shit out your ass. The motherfucker didn't believe it. And then it got to popping off. A nigga went that drastic. The white boy went that drastic to not to believe that he was gonna get stabbed. It was both. It was hatred on both sides of that table that day. I'm not gonna let you do me any type of way, and I'm willing to hurt, to kill you, or harm you in a vicious manner. And another one said, the hate And another one said, the other white boy said, the hating him, along with his size and how he was raised, I don't believe it. And they both got an answer in that moment. That'll be with them for the rest of their lives. But we talking about GoFundMe and lawyers and acquittals and jury colors and this, that, and the other. Stupid shit. It could have been 1,000 white old motherfuckers on that jury stand. It could have been 1,000 black motherfuckers on that jury stand. If justice is supposed to be blind, and that's what we based this country, the United States, off of, then how can you say these niggas was bad kids? Yeah, you could say it, and there's proof that those white boys had issues, but they ain't known for murder. They ain't known for lynching. And it would only been shit like that might have got him better situation, Carmelo Anthony. But it wasn't just gonna be like, I don't know why people think motherfuckers is stupid. Man, at the end of the day, you stabbed a motherfucker. They was pressing the issue with you. They was bullying you. They pressing the issue with you. They were looking to cause you harm. Okay? But the amount of force that was given, I think they only spoke about the nigga. Them niggas pushed that nigga. They ain't even socked that nigga or nothing. They didn't kick him. He wasn't on the ground getting stomped. Man, them niggas was punking him. And that nigga pulled out a weapon and said, nigga, you better cut this shit out. And they didn't stop. So what you gonna say? I was defending myself, man? You wasn't on no goddamn street corner, nigga. You was in school. These are the mindset of children, teenagers. The white boys, they say they was suspended. They wasn't supposed to be there. But they was there. So now what we doing? You can't even, it's just like the mind psyche of a child. You can't expect that motherfucker to make a rational decision of a law like stand your ground. Everything to somebody that's scary is stand your ground. A lethal force. Because they scared. A one-on-one fight is not stand your ground. This is school. These are children. Regardless of what they was raised, they color their skin, they children. And they're making reactions that are not of children. These niggas is on nigga time. These white boys was on nigga time. That black boy wasn't on no. You can't. Your son or daughter can't come home with that same excuse with you. Can you imagine? I stabbed. Hello? Yeah, we got this is the police station, the sheriff, or wherever you stay at. We need you to come down to the police station. Your son just murdered, or your daughter just murdered a motherfucker with a protractor. Or fucking whatever that thing is. He just stabbed the motherfucker, the motherfucker died. What? Yeah, we need you to come down to the station. Man, what happened? Man, they came approaching me. They was talking shit. And one of them motherfuckers pushed me, so I stabbed them. In that moment, right then, you're gonna ask a couple more questions like, damn, did they have a gun? How many of them was it? Because your son or your daughter is in a situation that you can't do shit about really, but get a lawyer, pray and get a lawyer. That's all you could do. You can't fix this no way. This is beyond the help of mama and daddy. It's beyond. So now you done stabbed this motherfucker. Your child stabbed the motherfucker, man. And it wasn't like it was a robbery. It wasn't like he was walking on a dark street. It wasn't none of that type of shit. He was at school. And his self-defense mechanism was to pull out something sharp to injure, which ended up fatally injuring another teenager. We got to do shit more better, man. Who gonna be in a jury box and say just because it was a big white boy, that black boy don't need to go to jail? You're gonna ask for him to get help, even if it was all black in the jury box. You gonna ask for him to get help, but the evidence is the evidence. The evidence is the evidence. See, what I'm hearing right now is that these black niggas want you to believe that the white boys are so dangerous, that's the only way you could deal with them is to stab the shit out of them and kill them. That's exactly how they think about us. But we not just them white boys. All of us is them white boys on the other side of the table. That's where I put a note to it to say, no, all white people ain't like that, and all black people ain't like that. And that black boy thought, if I pull this thing out, they should back up. They got a different hatred. Just like some of our people, hatred overcomes reason. White motherfuckers got them same people over there. They got niggas too. And so do the Mexicans, everybody else. They got niggas too. Where common sense don't kick in to back the fuck up. That's right. So now this young man who was promising, who knew them books, but didn't realize that, hey, I'm gonna tell the teacher, I'm gonna fight and lose, but I'll live to see another day. It's just like when you're getting stopped by the police and you're black. Now I don't have that problem because I ain't moving like I used to. But if you moving bad and the police pull you over, it could go crazy. White do not make right. Right is right, and wrong is wrong. That boy, Karmelo Anthony, in a split second, changed his whole life for himself and one other person. And now they stuck with those consequences, and the families are stuck with those consequences forever. And it's sad. I feel so bad for him. But what is the call to arms to now? People lying to you. Oh, we can go in there, or we should have argued this, or we could say that this. Man, ain't nothing gonna say without a past situation with that young boy and them to say that them boys tried to kill him before. It's only certain things that somebody could really say like, man, did he really need to pull out a weapon and stab and kill a motherfucker? You're not gonna find that. You just not. But some of us as black people, we wanna finagle the system like they do, like they finagle the system. It's their system. I don't know if nobody told you that it's their system. And you don't raise your kids to make more people that can get in that system where the system could be more beneficial to us too. You don't raise your kids to do that type of shit though. Now that's what I'm talking about. You don't raise your kids to be police officers, federal agents, DEA, CIA. You don't raise your kids to be that. You don't raise your kids to be principals, doctors. You don't do that. Presidents, senators, city council. You don't raise your kids to be into that because you don't have the hope for the kid. Some of y'all. Man, I can't even talk about this shit no more. This Big Bang, man. I feel sorry for both of those people, man, especially that young black man, where he didn't even have options because of society and his community to deal with that situation another way. It's Big Bang Radio.